ve şiddet tutkunu değiliz.
Biz de zindanla da korkutamazsın.
Your country is in big trouble.
Teslim olmanın sınırı yok.
The 10th judicial reform package arrives amid deepening concerns over human rights and judicial independence in Turkey. Critics say the measures target overcrowding without addressing the political use of the justice system. In an historic visit, European Parliament left co-chair Martin Şerdoğan leads a high-level delegation to Raqqa and Kobani, meeting AANES officials, women's groups and displaced families. The second phase of the prisoner exchange between Damascus-led forces and the SDF in Aleppo has been delayed. YPJ prisoners and the remains of SDF fighters were not released, as agreed on the 29th of May. The city of Qamishli in north and east Syria has recently witnessed an unprecedented cinematic event for Syria, the Nûjiyan Film Festival, which represents a significant milestone in the empowerment of women within cinema. Learn more with Medya News. Turkey's Ministry of Justice has submitted its 10th judicial reform package to Parliament, proposing changes aimed at easing prison overcrowding and improving judicial efficiency. The bill expands eligibility for supervised release and home detention, especially for women, children, and the elderly. It also toughens penalties for certain offences, like unlicensed firearm use. Yet critics argue the package fails where it matters most. The pro-Kurdish Dem Party and human rights organizations have slammed the reforms for excluding political prisoners and ignoring deeper democratic reform. Dem Party MP Gülistan Kokyyiğit warned that the bill lets violent offenders go free while activists jailed for slogans or letters remain behind bars. As prison populations near 100,000 over capacity, with 1,026 deaths reported in under 2 years, concerns about inhumane conditions and systemic injustice grow. Legal experts like Eren Keskin and political commentators such as Mumtaza Türkoner see the bill as more political maneuver than reform, particularly after the PKK's recent declaration to end armed struggle. As Parliament debates the package, many ask whether this is a path to reconciliation or another missed opportunity to address Turkey's crisis of justice and political repression. On the 29th of May, Martin Şerdoğan, co-chair of the left in the European Parliament, led a landmark delegation to North and East Syria, marking the highest-level EU visit to the region to date. In Raqqa and Kobani, the delegation met with leaders from the Autonomous Administration, or AANES, women's groups, and displaced communities. Discussions focused on urgent political and humanitarian concerns, from Turkey's military incursions to the need for an interim Syrian constitution. At the Zenobia Women's Association, women shared stories of rebuilding their lives post-ISIS, defending their rights amid threats from Turkish-backed forces, and promoting interethnic solidarity grounded in Abdullah Öcalan's philosophy. The group also met displaced Afrin families, now sheltering in makeshift classrooms. Their testimonies highlighted the toll of repeated displacement, loss, and abandonment by the international community. Şerdoğan described the visit as emotionally intense, calling for renewed humanitarian aid and political support. The day ended in Kobani, a symbol of resistance, where officials discussed the region's revolutionary legacy and hopes for peace. The delegation plans to report back to the European Parliament, urging stronger EU engagement with Rojava's democratic experiment and humanitarian crisis. A planned prisoner exchange between Damascus-led forces and the Syrian Democratic Forces (SDF) was postponed on the 29th of May, stalling progress on a 14-point security agreement signed in April. The exchange was due to take place in Aleppo's Sheikh Maqsoud and Ashrafieh neighborhoods, involving the release of YPJ fighters and the remains of fallen SDF personnel. While the first phase occurred in early April, seeing 146 SDF members swapped for 97 detainees, this second phase was not implemented as agreed. Despite SDF convoys arriving and preparations being made, Damascus-led forces failed to release prisoners, offering no official explanation. The delay cast doubt on the agreement's future and its role in maintaining joint security in Aleppo. Kahraman Baker, head of the Asayish, internal security forces, under the autonomous administration, vowed to continue efforts for the release and recovery, stating, "We will not back down." This stalled exchange highlights the fragility of coordination between the SDF and Damascus, raising concerns over whether humanitarian agreements, especially those involving women fighters and fallen soldiers, will be upheld or used as political leverage. In a groundbreaking cultural moment for Syria, Kamishli is hosting the Nûjiyan Film Festival, the first event of its kind in the region, spotlighting women as directors, storytellers, and creators. Running from the 25th to the 31st of May, the festival features 37 films and documentaries from across Kurdistan, the Middle East, the US, Armenia, and Europe. The stories focus on women's experiences, from childhood marriage to political resistance, reclaiming the lens through which their lives are portrayed. The event is named after Nûjiyan Erhan, a Kurdish journalist killed in 2017 while covering conflict in Shengal. Her legacy now lives on through this cinematic tribute. Films like A Picture to Remember, Seema's Song, and Esne Amadmi are featured, alongside art exhibitions and seminars on women in filmmaking. Held in Azadi Park, the festival honors voices like Cihan Bilgin, another Kurdish journalist killed in 2024 by a Turkish drone strike. Her image was displayed in a moving tribute. More than a festival, Nûjiyan marks a transformative step for women in cinema, asserting their right not just to be seen, but to speak, direct, and define their own stories.
Medya News Daily Review.
Biz burada şiddet tutkunu değiliz. Biz de zindanla da korkutamazsın.
Your country is in big trouble.
Teslim olmanın sınırı yok.